What I will tell you will not be happening is ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns. They're going to be out on the streets. If I can finish, they're going to be out on the streets.
I have three
No,
minutes.
you asked me a question.
I did, and
you asked me a question,
and you haven't
I'm gonna
answered
answer
my
it.
question.
So they're going to be out on the streets working
You haven't
hand in hand
answered my
with
question.
DEA
You
to
haven't
violate.
answered. Mr. Chairman, I'd like an answer to my question.
What you're about to watch is not just another heated exchange. This was a complete meltdown from Representative Rosa DeLauro as Pam Bondi stood her ground and dismantled the narrative Democrats keep pushing about guns, law enforcement, and federal power.
DeLauro?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick note before I get to my questions. Fentanyl seizures are down 30% compared to last year, and that data is coming from the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP. I don't make it up, but fentanyl seizures are down. At your confirmation hearing, you asserted that you will do everything in your power to prevent illegal gun runners in our country. Your budget request for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, proposes a cut of 26% below the current level. How can you justify such a massive cut without inevitably weakening ATF's ability to help our state and local law enforcement fight illegal gun trafficking? How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of this funding reduction you are proposing?
So, I am a career prosecutor, and I believe in keeping America safe, making America safe. First, what we're doing is ATF is going to be brought over with DEA. Everyone knows, everyone sitting up here, guns and drugs go together. They go together. We're going to make it more efficient. What I will tell you will not be happening is ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns. They're going to be out on the streets. If I can finish, they're going to be out on the streets.
I have three
No,
minutes.
you asked me a question.
I did, and
you asked me a question,
and you haven't
I'm gonna
answered
answer
my
it.
question.
So they're going to be out on the streets working
You haven't
hand in
answered
hand
my
with
question.
DEA
You
to
haven't
violate.
answered. Mr. Chairman, I'd like an answer to my question. And the question is not being answered. How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost to attrition as a result of the funding reduction you are proposing? You are proposing a 26% cut to ATF for fiscal year 2026, as well as a 4.4% cut to DEA. So you're going to merge the two agencies together, and then you're going to shortchange their resources, so neither one of them will be able to do the job that they have been designed to do. You've got a 34% cut to the high-intensity drug trafficking areas program, no dedicated money at all for the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. So, my view, it's fair to say that the Trump administration proposal shortchanges federal efforts to stop illegal gun trafficking and federal efforts to stop the flow of dangerous illegal drugs like fentanyl.
As I was attempting to answer your question very calmly, unlike you,
Excuse me, Madam Attorney General. Answer yes or no. Tell me what the numbers are. I don't want to hear all of your filibuster about this. Go ahead, please. Tell us the numbers.
So we are reorganizing. ATF agents want to be out on the street.
Okay,
working
let me
with
answer the
DEA
question for you.
agents.
I'm going to answer it for you. Page, Mr. Chairman, you give me a certain amount of time, and I have a high respect for you, but I don't have to listen, nor do my colleagues have to listen to a filibuster when it's a simple question. But I have an answer to your question. It's page 146 of the department's fiscal year 2026 budget, and the performance summary explicitly says, and let me quote, ATF will eliminate 541 industry operation investigators, reducing ATF's capacity to regulate the firearms and explosive industries by approximately 40% in fiscal year 2026. ATF will perform fewer regulatory inspections. And the department summary goes on to say, and let me quote, ATF anticipates a reduction of approximately 284 support personnel, and 186 agents based on historical attrition patterns, and these personnel cuts will impact ATF across various functions, unquote. If the capacity to regulate firearms industry is reduced by 40%, if you are losing 186 ATF law enforcement agents, on top of that, it is clear the direction you are headed with this budget, and that's what it is, isn't it? The proposal will weaken our ability to stop gun trafficking, and it will greatly reduce ATF support for state and local law enforcement that helps them prevent and solve violent crimes. It's a bad proposal.
Do you want to hear my answer in 3 seconds? You mentioned regulatory functions. We will not be having ATF agents go to the doors of gun owners in the middle of the night asking them about their guns, period. They will be out on the streets with DEA, guns and drugs.
How many are gone?
It will be attrition. We are not firing agents. They will be working.
How many
with
have
DEA.
taken attrition?
Can I tell you that they all want to be on the streets? They want to be doing their jobs. They want to be.
But you're getting them off the streets.
They want.
You're getting them off the streets.
We're putting them on the streets.
And
they want to be working with
DEA.
DEA.
You are getting them off the streets. There is no clear. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time. I yield back my time. Let's get some answers here.
DeLauro came into this hearing ready to grandstand. She started by throwing out cherry-picked statistics, talking about fentanyl seizures and illegal guns, trying to paint a picture of chaos that somehow only more government spending can fix. Then she dropped her real agenda. She accused Pam Bondi and the administration of endangering public safety by proposing cuts to the ATF budget. Let's be clear about what was really happening here. DeLauro wasn't concerned about safety. She was furious because the days of the ATF harassing lawful gun owners and small firearms dealers are coming to an end. Pam Bondi didn't flinch. She calmly explained something Democrats hate admitting. Guns and drugs go together. Criminal organizations don't operate in neat little bureaucratic boxes. They traffic weapons and narcotics at the same time. That's why the plan is to streamline enforcement by working ATF alongside the DEA, putting agents where they actually belong, on the streets targeting criminals, not at desks pushing paperwork or knocking on the doors of law-abiding Americans. That's when DeLauro completely lost control. Instead of listening, she interrupted, over and over again, demanding numbers, shouting, accusing Bondi of filibustering, even though DeLauro herself wouldn't stop talking long enough to let an answer finish. This wasn't oversight. This was political theater. And here's the key part the media doesn't want to highlight. Pam Bondi made it crystal clear that no agents are being fired. These changes are happening through attrition and restructuring. Agents who actually want to do real law enforcement work will be doing exactly that. What's being reduced is the bloated regulatory arm that Democrats use to intimidate gun dealers and quietly undermine the Second Amendment. DeLauro even admitted the truth herself while trying to attack Bondi. The cuts mainly hit regulatory investigators, not frontline crime fighters. That tells you everything. The left doesn't want criminals targeted. They want compliance enforced. Pam Bondi's strongest moment came when she shut down the fear-mongering entirely. She promised, clearly and unapologetically, that ATF agents will not be knocking on the doors of legal gun owners in the middle of the night. That one sentence destroyed the entire Democratic narrative. That's why DeLauro was so angry. Because once Americans hear that, they understand what this fight is really about. Freedom versus federal overreach. Real law enforcement versus political enforcement. This clash exposed two completely different visions for America. One side believes safety comes from empowering citizens and targeting criminals. The other believes safety comes from endless spending, bloated agencies, and treating lawful gun owners like suspects. Pam Bondi didn't just survive this exchange. She dominated it. She stayed composed while DeLauro unraveled, and in doing so, she showed the country exactly who's serious about protecting Americans and who's just protecting Washington power. If you want more honest breakdowns like this that cut through the noise, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who still thinks Congress is on their side.